Hey everybody, it's Jack Manhire. I'm your professor for the ethical decision making in wealth and risk management with Texas A&M University School of Law. Now, as you can see, I'm recording this little segment in my closet because my entire family is downstairs hooting and hollering for the Aggies versus Gators game that's going on right now. So I couldn't find another quiet place in the entire house except the closet. So, oh well. Anyway, I wanted to give you some type of just personal welcome to the class outside of the normal lectures that I've already recorded for the most part. In fact, I think I've recorded all of them at this point. But we're going to start the class next week. I'm very, very excited to be a part of it. Now, I wanted to go over just a few housekeeping items that might not be in any of the other videos. Now, if you look at the syllabus, you're not going to find some of this information, so please pay very, very close attention to this video. Number one, there are currently 26 students signed up for this class, which is great. I'm very, very happy about that. 26 is also a very large number if we're going to start getting into some rich dialogue in the threaded discussions. So I think a way of trying to preserve some of the intimacy that's necessary for these dialogues is to break you up into smaller groups. So you're going to have group assignments. There will be 4 groups, and every week your groups will meet. Each week, one of you will be assigned as the group leader. And your job for that week is going to be to launch the discussion. It's going to be to make sure the discussion is going fruitfully. I don't want to see a bunch of responses to somebody who's posted an interesting comment and saying, "Oh, that's really interesting, Jimmy. Wow, that's fantastic. I like the way you put that. It's really cool how you put that into 3 different parts." I don't want to see that. I want to see some real contribution. So as a group leader for that week, your job is going to be to take the questions that I've already given you, and you'll have these assigned to you after each lecture, but also think of some on your own. After you go through the readings, you might even want to summarize some of the discussion, some of the points, and make sure that the discussion is not only launched properly, but to keep it going. And don't be afraid to dig deep as you're trying to prompt for the discussion in your group. There are going to be 6 people. I'm sorry, there are going to be 6 people per group. 2 groups will have 7, just the way the math works out. And so here's what's going to happen. For the first week, 2 of the groups are going to have co-leaders. The first week is very, very hard, I know. Let's have a high tolerance for failure. It's okay. We're going to get our feet wet and get our sea legs here. But some of the groups, you're going to have 2 leaders or co-leaders for that first week. And the reason is, again, the first week can be difficult, and there's no other way that I can do the mathematics. That's really the main driver on that. Okay. Speaking of mathematics, I understand that most of you just completed a course that was very, very math heavy. Now that's fantastic, because we're going to be going into some much deeper mathematics in this course. We're going to be talking about, we're going to be using probably differential calculus and probably some integral calculus. You need to make sure that you know at least the basics of multivariate calculus, and probably some Poisson distributions from statistics. So again, I'm assuming that you are at least at that level so you can understand some of the decision science that we're talking about. Here's an example of what I'm talking about in equation form. This is a very basic equation that you should be able to recognize immediately. Okay, of course, I'm kidding. There is no math involved in this class at all. Again, that was a joke. I don't really care what your level of your interest or your ability is in single variable, multivariable calculus, or anything else. No mathematics. There will be no numbers. There will be no numbers either. So this will all be a discussion about ethics, and it's going to be a discussion about decision making. If we're going to really get into ethical decision making, we need to kind of break down the components. What do we mean by ethical aspects of anything? What are the source of our ethics? Where do our obligations and responsibilities come from? Okay, we're also going to be talking about a process for decision making, one that's pretty tried and true in decision making science, and then we're going to kind of mush those together at the in the end of the course in the last two lectures, and create an ethical decision making framework that you will be able to use in any area, in any job, in any profession, in any situation, hopefully. Now, it's not so important that you use the framework that I teach you, but it's really, really important that you have your own framework, that you have a framework. And so, of course, you can use the framework that we're going to go over, or you can modify it. But having one is going to be important. That's an important theme throughout all of this course. I gave you some of the documents that you're going to need for the first course, and you're receiving this video in an email, and that email should also have attached to it a grid. It's a PDF document, but it's a grid that has the number of the class week. So it's like week 1. It has the class topics. It has the additional reading materials, the threaded discussion topics. It's going to have the assignments, and I've also listed in that grid the discussion leaders, so that you'll have those assigned. So looking through that, you'll know which group you're in, and you'll know who's a leader for which week. Again, I'm leaving it up to the group discussion leaders for that week to figure out how to facilitate that. I will be partaking in them to the extent that I can, but with such a large class, I'm going to have to rely on you to really be proactive in making sure that happens. I've also included one of the worksheets that are going to be required for the first class. These should be available on Blackboard and eCampus, but just in case it's not up there yet, I wanted to make sure you had that. This worksheet is really just setting your personal goals for this course. And then I also put on the worksheet that you're going to have to use for. It'll be something that goes along with the first lecture after you watch it, but it talks about where your values come from, because we discuss ethics having its source in our personal values, and that our actions are really just those that are trying to manifest those values. We're trying to put those values out in the world, and this is what we call ethical actions. So that will make more sense once you watch the first lecture, but I did want to make sure you had the worksheet. And then you'll also have the assignments as well. So that's it for now. Again, I'm really looking forward to spending the next, I think, 7 weeks together. 8 weeks if you count the final exam. I do not think that the course is going to be incredibly difficult. And what I mean by difficult is it's not going to be something that's going to require things like multivariate calculus. I do think, though, it's a course that if you put a lot into this, you're going to get a lot out. I believe it's one of those courses that you'll look back on your graduate education later and say, that course gave me good takeaways. That course gave me tools that I can use in whatever it is that you might be doing at that point in your life. So again, really looking forward to it. And I hear some more cheering, so either the Aggies scored, or they somebody hit a home run or scored a goal. I'm not sure which. So I'll go check that out, and I will talk to you later. Take care. Bye.